My name is Jasmine Brunson, and this is From the Heart, a Hoopers podcast. Thank you for tuning into this episode of From the Heart, a Hoopers podcast. If you missed last week's episode for some or whatever strange reason, make sure you either watch or listen to that either before or after this episode. We spoke about the different misconceptions I had when it came to working hard and what I eventually learned working hard meant when it came to the game of basketball. And I learned that as I progressed throughout my career. In this episode, we're going to be talking about watching film. I can't stress enough the importance of that, how big of a key component it is when it comes to the game of basketball. And as I progressed, I eventually learned why and all of the different things you get to see on film, all of the different things you can take from film if you watch it properly. Not just watching your highlights, but if you sit there and you actually study film, it's so many different things that you can get out of it. So if you have not subscribed to the official YouTube channel yet, please go do me that favor. Make sure you also scroll over a little bit, press that hype button for me. Also, make sure you are following the official Instagram page at From the Heart Hoopers Podcast, as well as tapped in with me on all podcast platforms. Now that we got business handled, let's get into it. First things first, let's just get this out the way now. You know how they say like numbers don't lie? Well, film don't lie either. And that's a fact. You can tell me whatever you want to tell me about your game, but it's going to show on film. You could tell me you're as nice as you want to be, you average this, you do that. It's going to show up on film. So film is also something that does not lie, ever. It's kind of like, you know how everybody think they can sing in the shower, and as we see with this trend on TikTok right now, where it's like people are saying if they have a hidden talent so they can quit their job, and a lot of people are still pulling up the work, like, it's kind of like that. So sometimes you might walk out of a game, or you might think you really did something. You run that back on film, it does not look the same way. It does not translate, unfortunately. I remember when I first started watching film in high school, and it caught me in 4K just walking the ball up the court. It caught me in 4K just standing in the corner, not rebounding, waiting to see if the shot went in. It caught me not being a help defense. And it was like that reality check moment, because it's just like, dang, I can't even sit here and argue with my coach because everything you said I was doing, you was absolutely right. I don't even have no argument because you was absolutely right, and now I see it. Now I see it, and now I'm responsible for it. But prior to that, I had every argument in the book for you just ready. I wasn't even one of those people that would constantly argue with my coaches. It was kind of just like, all right, cool, like, I know you're going to yell at me. I know you're trying to get the best out of me, all of that. So I'm not even going to put up a fight. However, if I did want to argue any of these points, I couldn't because I was caught. Now that I'm thinking about it, I know people that have had worse, but I've had some tough film sessions. Like, back in my day, like, I had some tough film sessions. It's just like, dang, I didn't even know I was doing that. I didn't know I looked like that, actually. Like I've had to sit in film rooms and be completely chewed out by my coach the whole time because I'm doing exactly what they said I was doing to begin with. Like, them film sessions where you just like, oh my God, it can't be another clip of me. You know how the coaches, or sometimes, especially in college, like, or even when you get to the pros and you watch film and they break it down so it's categorized, and you pop up in every category. Not rebounding, boom. Missed box out, boom. Turnovers, boom. It's just 3-4 straight clips of you. And you cannot do anything about it. You just gotta comment below if you ever had to sit through one of them tough film sessions where you just get chewed out the whole entire time. It's just not pretty. It's really not pretty. But once you get out of that, you get so many different things out of that, because if you don't like what you're seeing on film, you have the opportunity to correct it. So then the next time y'all watch film, you probably got maybe one clip in each of them things, in each category. Because the reality of it is, as players, you need to see that. You need to see what you look like on film. You need to see if whatever you think that you're doing is translating on film. You need to see what other people are seeing. There's so much that you learn about yourself. You learn about other teams, other players, their tendencies, right? Their habits, how they like to play. You get to see it in whatever speed you need to see it in. You get to slow it down, speed it up, whatever you need to do. You get to manipulate it to where the game is at whatever pace you need to see it at, but then you get to learn so much out of it if you're watching and looking for the correct things. It's genuinely a cheat sheet. Like, a scout is a physical like cheat sheet, but then when you actually have to see your scout and you are watching film and you're watching the clips on different personnel and you're watching different team clips, you're watching whatever it is that you're watching in order to prepare for your game, it's definitely a cheat sheet. And if you're not getting all of these things out of watching film, are you really watching film? Are you really studying film? Are you really able to break down film? Do you know what you're supposed to be looking for? right? Or are you sitting there watching your highlights? Anybody can sit there and yeah, you could pull out your clips, and of course now you getting buckets, you getting steals, whatever it is to create that 30 seconds to a minute highlight tape that you post. Get whatever engagement you need to get. All right, cool. But if somebody sits and watches that full game or watches these full games that you clipped up into this highlight film, what else are they going to see? Did you pay attention to anything else? Did you even pay attention to, even if you, okay, cool, you want to sit there and watch your buckets, did you pay attention to how you were scoring? Did you pay attention to what was effective? Did you pay attention to those type of things? Or are you just like, oh, dang, that was tough. All right, I gotta clip that. I gotta post that. That was tough. You could watch as many games as you want. You can go back and watch your own games. But what are you looking at? What are you looking out for? What are you paying attention to when you're watching this film? And that's something that I had to learn. I didn't always know how to watch film. I didn't always know how to, study the game of basketball. That's genuinely something I had to learn. I went from just watching games like everybody else, watching film like everybody else. Sometimes I can admit I sometimes went back and watched my old games or like good games, and it's like, oh dang, I'm not looking to get anything out of it. I'm just like, oh, okay, this is a good game, or this is a good game, or like I knew that, okay, I had a good tournament here, probably the 80s or whatever the case was. If I got my hands on that film, I'm not necessarily always looking to say, okay, how can I improve on this, or what did I look like? I just knew, all right, this was a good game. I want to go back and see that. So I had to learn how to break down film. I had to learn how to watch film. I had to learn how to watch film as a player, and then now being on the coaching side and being on the training side, I had to learn how to break down film as a coach. I had to learn how I got the opportunity to break down film when I was a director of basketball operations. So it's a similar process, but it has its differences. But all in all, it's something that I had to learn to do. So for example, one of the things that I learned to pay attention to, and then after I learned it, is something that I definitely held myself accountable to pay attention to, was opposing teams' tendencies. Like obviously, when you're in high school, when you're in college, when you're in the pro, yes, your coaches break down all of these different films, parts of films, different games, all of that personnel, and then yes, they show it to you. But I've also been around players, I've also been around people that go that extra mile and they're watching games of the team for maybe a month prior. Or they're watching more games. Like, we're not assigned these things. Like, yes, we get film, you can ask for extra film, different things like that. But going the extra mile to say, okay, what does this team really like to do? Is there anything else that I can pull out to give myself a little bit of an extra advantage going into these different games, or probably going into a different matchup? Because that's something that you should be paying attention to on film. You're looking at opposing teams' tendencies all the way down to personnel and players. You're looking at what your matchup is going to do. You're looking at what probably the 6 or 7 person off the bench is looking at. Whoever you're going to potentially be matched up with that may not start. Or you recognize, okay, this team likes to play fast. Your coaches let you know that this team likes to play fast. When you went back and you watched the film, or you kept watching the film, without anybody having to tell you, did you recognize, okay, they advanced the ball up the sideline, and that's one of the ways that they get into their actions fast, or that's one of the ways that it contributes to them playing fast. They advance the ball up the sideline fast, especially after a free throw. Defensively, do they have a tendency to trap corners? Do they have a tendency to funnel the ball to one side of the court? Are you paying attention to that type of stuff? With or without coaches having to tell you that, are you paying attention to that type of stuff? When it comes to your matchup, are you picking up on how they exactly like to score the ball? Are you paying attention to what spots they like to get to? Are you paying attention, or are you able to recognize, like, okay, my matchup, when they drive right, 9 times out of 10, they're going to pull up and when they cut off. But when they go left, 9 times out of 10, they probably going to throw a fake first, see if they can get me off my feet or get the defender off their feet. But if there's no type of space, they passing the ball. Right? Did you recognize that? Because then it's like, one of the things that tells me is, especially when this person is driving left, when I cut them off, I have to be disciplined enough to stay down on whatever fake they throw, because I know they just trying to see if they can catch me off guard. Otherwise, I know you're trying to pass the ball. You ain't trying to score this. You ain't trying to put nothing up. You're trying to pass the ball. Right? So there's different things, different gems that you can pull from watching film and paying attention to the right things. It's just however you can try and create a competitive advantage, different things you can have in your back pocket. And obviously, film is not going to guarantee anything is going to happen throughout the flow of the game, right? But it's likely, because people are who they are, teams are who they are. So it's likely if they do enter and get into this action, or if this player does end up doing X, Y, and Z, I'm prepared for it if they go to that. Or defensively, right? This team or my matchup might be opportunistic, right? They might go for steals. They might try and see if they can kind of speed you up. Are they trying to force turnovers? What exactly are they doing? How do they manipulate the game? How do they try and create the flow of the game, right? You might have a matchup that is opportunistic in the sense of they get at least 2 steals a game just catching the other point guard being lazy with the ball. And honestly, it gives you just that extra confidence, just knowing like, okay, again, you are who you are as a player. You can add to your game, whatever. But if I watch enough film of you, I know what it is that you like to do. I know what spots you like to get to. I know, especially pair that with a scouting report and knowing how to understand and read scouting reports. I know everything that it is that you like to do as a team and as a player. You know, physically, you might be quicker, you might be stronger, any of those things. But everybody knows the game is way more mental than it is physical. And everybody doesn't have the mental part of the game down. And a big part of the mental game, in my opinion, comes from hours and hours and hours and hours of watching film, logging film. And like I said, you can learn a lot about yourself and your own game and how you can improve by watching film. Because the same way that you're studying and scouting other teams, other players, your matchups, things like that, they're looking at you, they're studying you, they're watching you just as much. Opponents are studying you and coaches and scouts are watching you. So what you do on film, what you show on film, what you display on film is just as important. That means we can see everything down from if your body language is bad, if you get the pouting once your team start losing. We can see if you're not comfortable on the left side of the floor. We can see if you're a good teammate. We can see if you can handle adversity. You on candy camera too. You on candy camera too. So the eye in the sky catches everything. So how you show up, like I said, how you show up on film and what you use the film for, whether or not you use it to improve your game or not, and to change what not just you see, but what other people see as well, that's solely on you. That's completely up to you. A big thing that my coaches had me paying attention to when I'm watching individual film was like my clock management skills, right? The time, like we hear it all the time and score. I was paying attention to whether or not I was managing the clock well, how long it took us to get into actions, whether or not I was prone to turn the ball over when it's probably 10 seconds or less on the shot clock. Then I can sit there and play it back as many times as I want. I can watch it in whatever speed I want to watch it in, but I'm able to see, okay, am I good managing the clock? Am I good when it comes to time and score? Am I good when it comes to 2-for-1 possessions? Am I good when it comes to all of that different kind of stuff? Because that's what other teams are seeing. That's what other coaches are seeing. That's what other players are seeing. I also had to pay attention to, and I also started paying attention to how I'm coming off ball screens. Different reads that I have, again, especially as a point guard, as a guard. I'm paying attention to different reads I can make coming off of a ball screen. Am I coming off these? What are my angles like when I'm coming off ball screens? How consistent was I when it came to my shot? What was my positioning looking like defensively? Basketball is definitely angle, so what is my positioning like? There's so many different things. There's a countless number of things that you could pay attention to when you're watching film. You should always be able to get something out of it, especially when it comes to your game. That's why you have to study film. And as a coach, it's even more things that you're paying attention to and breaking down when you're watching film. As I mentioned before, I've got the opportunity to be a dobo before, and I learned a lot about film breakdown. And as I've been pursuing my own coaching journey, just being around different coaches, I learned a lot about breaking down film. I learned a lot about what coaches are paying attention to. And that film breakdown as a coach is even more in depth because you have to be ready for everything. You have to prepare for everything, even if it doesn't make the scout. Even if a team might have ran a silent out of bounds play maybe 10 games ago, these coaches still know that silent out of bounds play. They ain't running in 10 straight games, no stuff like that. They're prepared for everything. You think the Dawn Staley's of the world, the Gina Oriemas of the world, the Pat Summits of the world, the Becky Hammonds of the world, you better believe these coaches are prepared. You better believe these coaches are prepared. Countless hours logged scouting, countless hours logged watching film, because they have to be prepared in order to prepare and correctly and adequately prepare their team. Film is like the separator for players and the answer key for coaches. So for players, next time you're watching film, don't skip past the missed layups, don't skip past the turnovers, don't just watch the highlights. Make sure you're studying film because you're being studied. Your game is being studied. So make sure you're studying the game. And as always, thank you for tuning into this episode of From the Heart of Hoopers podcast. Make sure you are subscribed to the official YouTube channel. Also, make sure you are following the official Instagram page at From the Heart of Hoopers podcast, as well as tapped in with me on all podcast platforms. And with that said, I will see y'all next week.